it seems like the Tesla robots that are going to be coming in the future are going to be getting rid of the Model S and the Model X. Seriously, because it seems like Tesla's going to be focusing more on producing their robots, and because of that, they're going to not focus on making the cars anymore. Well, at least the Model X and the Model S. And I feel like this is a really big deal because Tesla with the Model S kind of revolutionized the EV car game. It feels like the Model S was the first car that people would actually consider using that was an EV that didn't feel compromised too much. And the fact that this car along with the X is going away, to me is a big deal. Now, seems like they might be focusing on the using the factories for production of the robots rather than focusing on these cars. And well, I guess it would kind of make sense for Tesla for the future and all that, but the Tesla cars are a big deal, and they sold a lot of cars. And sure, the Model X isn't as popular as it was before, and the Model S being a sedan, well, sedans are not gonna be sticking around, apart from the luxury ones, like Mercedes or something. So getting rid of them, getting rid of the S makes sense, but getting rid of the X, I feel like that's not a good move because SUVs are a big deal, and people want bigger and bigger SUVs. And I feel like the Model X, they could have refreshed it, made it a little bigger, added some stuff, and kept it going. But it doesn't seem like they're gonna be doing that. And while they're focusing on robots, is a good argument for them to not make these cars anymore. I feel like there might be another factor at play, and that's the fact that when it comes to the competition, they seem to have really caught up, and they're getting really close to Tesla. And the modern EVs from the other brands do seem to be really good, and that wasn't the case when the Tesla started coming out earlier. Because honestly, they felt like a few generations ahead of everyone else in terms of what they brought. And because of that, they didn't really have a competition, even though they were competing with cars. They didn't really have the kind of competition that most newcomers would have to face. It's kind of like the smartphone game where iOS and Android showed up and they changed the game, even though there were established brands out there with their own software and all that. It felt like a generational leap, and that's what Tesla did. But now that generational leap, that effect isn't really there anymore. And I guess Tesla could try to take it even further and create battery packs that have 1,000 kilometers of range or something. And that's compact, that's heavy, and more and faster charging, better battery tech, and all that stuff. But I'm thinking that there may be a bit more difficult than we would like to actually admit, because the battery tech seems to be reaching a sort of plateau at the moment, because the manufacturers have seemed to have caught up with Tesla, and Tesla hasn't leaped forward like we would have hoped. So I'm guessing there might be some limitations now, and because of that, maybe Tesla's deciding to focus on other stuff. And robots, whether we like it or not, are in the future. They're gonna be everywhere as soon as they become cheap and reliable and all that. They're gonna be doing all sorts of stuff. So yeah, Tesla moving away from these cars and just focusing on the Model 3 and the Model Y. Those cars are okay, but I feel like the Model X, it should have gotten one more chance. especially with the demand for big size SUVs. But again, there's stuff with pricing and all that. I mean, if the pricing between the bigger brands and Tesla, the more established brands, aren't that different, people are going to go for the brands and they will be willing to pay for the badge, like Mercedes, BMW, Audi, and all that stuff. And Tesla, as great as their cars are, they don't have the badge to compete directly with them if the products are too similar. So I guess it is what it is, but it is kind of sad to think about. And honestly, I'm wondering if this maybe has something to do with the whole global trend of kind of moving away from EVs, because as much as we want to adopt EVs for the planet and all that, they don't seem to, the technology isn't moving as quickly as it should for it to become common. I mean, to me, for EVs to become common, at least in India, you have to be able to get a car that's 5 or 6 lakhs on road, that has what, at least 300 kilometers of range, usable range, and with a decent interior and all that stuff, and with quick charging and good battery warranty. And I don't see that happening soon. I hear some stuff about Maruti Suzuki bringing some compact cars here, but I don't know what the pricing of those cars or the range or the interior would be like. So yeah, the technology, I feel like it needs to develop a bit more, and in that case, Tesla focusing on other stuff for the company itself would make sense. But it is sad to think about, and I guess it's just the way businesses work, so, and companies work. So yeah, that's what I think about the whole situation, and it is kind of sad that the more or less the revolutionary car is going away.